Welcome to a hot and sweaty version of the backyard. It's humid as all get out, which is unusual for Arizona, but we're still gonna be out here cooking. We've got a very special one for you today. We're gonna cook a brisket point on a $19 grill. Check this out. So let's get started with the brisket. Just picked this up about half an hour ago from Cosmo. USDA Prime full pecker brisket. Let's slice into this thing and get her going. Right down the decal fat so that way we don't score any of the meat. And since I'm already on the backside, I'm gonna start back here. First thing we're gonna start with is this big old hunk of fat right here. Just gonna slice right on down. Just gonna keep working this backside, removing a bunch of this fat off the back. Alright, let's flip her over. This backside's okay. I'm not too concerned about that for right now. This is what I want to look at, is this top side. Just gonna push it down so it lays pretty flat. Alright, so let's address this mohawk. Just gonna take it right down. There's some meat on there, but it's mainly fat. You've got all this weird, nasty fat. So we need to get rid of all of this. It's not going to do any good, and it's just not going to render down. So back here you can see a fat seam. We're going to run right down that seam, and we are going to separate the flat from the point muscle, and I'll show you why we're going to do that here in a minute. So now we've got our point muscle and our flat muscle separated, and we're just gonna clean both of these up, cook them two separate ways. Today's video is about this cook. This will be another video. All right, so now that we have just the point separated, we're gonna trim it just like we would normally. So I'm gonna take down a bunch of this fat here. We're still gonna aim for that about 1/4 inch layer of fat. Well, this is about as far as I'm gonna go with this trim. We've removed quite a bit of fat. Might still take this scraggly stuff off. We still got a little bit on top here. Not too worried about it. Scalped it in a few spots, but that's okay. The backside still has a little bit of fat on there. Just gonna clean up all this loose stuff. Next up, we're gonna season it up and throw it on the $19 grill. So for our seasoning, we're gonna use our traditional seasoning, 2 parts 16 mesh black pepper. So these are 1/4 cup scoops. So 1/4 cup, 2/4 cup. Find this at shopchuds.com. Get yours now. Next, we're gonna add 1 part diamond crystal kosher salt. Then the last part is 1/2 part of garlic powder. All right, let's season this bad boy up. We'll start on the back side. Big old scoop of seasoning, and nice and liberal. Since it's only 1 part salt, you can go really heavy so you get that black pepper bark on there and not over salt. So this is our grill setup. We got all the fat that we're gonna turn into beef tallow, smoked beef tallow over there. We got our charcoal that's already pre-lit on this side. I'm just gonna run a train of charcoal all the way back. Let's go ahead and disperse those just a little bit. Now in theory, this just slowly is gonna burn all the way back. When it gets to here, we'll backfill this way again. Now, as far as the smoke element goes, I got some post oak wood chunks that we're just gonna place right on top of the grates here. And those are gonna help provide us some smoke. So this is my first time using post oak. Now I know why you guys do it in Texas. It smells amazing. I've never smelled post oak before, I guess, so wow. I could sit here and inhale this all day. I won't, because it's probably not good for your lungs and whatnots, but wow, that smells so good. This is what I've been missing out on. So roughly about 9 hours later, our brisket point on a $19 grill is done. This thing is probing so nice. I mean, look at this. Nothing but butter all the way through. Reading anywhere from 205 to 202. Just beautiful. And you want to talk about bark? Yeah, we got bark. That is really hot. So the next step, I'm gonna leave this in my toaster oven at 150 degrees overnight. Just gonna let it roll, let it rest, let it redistribute everything. Oh, good night. That thing just feels amazing. Fantastic. So with me temping this brisket repeatedly, I have poked a hole in the bottom of this foil boat. So I'm gonna put it in this aluminum pan in my toaster oven at 150 overnight. Now I know a lot of you might, Now I know a lot of you might not have a toaster oven that goes down to 150 to hold overnight. Use your regular oven, set it to its lowest setting. Most likely it's gonna be 170. Set it to that 170, let it roll overnight. If you don't want your house to stink up like brisket, which I don't know, kind of smells good, to me at least, get some commercial grade cellophane, wrap that whole thing I mean, this whole thing right here, just wrap it. Wrap it around like a Christmas present. Wrap it up like crazy. Stick it in your oven. It's not gonna stink as bad. You're still gonna get a beefy smell in the morning, but it's not gonna be as pungent as leaving it uncovered overnight. So try this out. Oh man, this thing is coming out so good. A $19 grill. The best bark I've ever achieved on a brisket. And I'll be honest, it's kind of like been the most fun I've had cooking a brisket. I got to play with charcoal, with wood, relighting it, maintaining temps, and here's the trickster. No thermometer. I did not have a temp gauge. I did it all by feel and by instinct. Do you think I know how to cook a brisket? No, I don't. But guess what? I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched Chud's barbecue, and I kind of went with it. No temp gauge, just raw dogging it, bro. Had a blast. I hope you try this. I'm gonna stick this in the toaster oven. I'll see you in the morning. It's about midnight 30 or so. Time to go to bed. Let's put this brisket to bed. So after a nice long heated rest, here we go. I think there's a little bit of beef tallow in here. Let's see. Oh, yep. There she goes. First cut. Cut's really, really nice. Yeah, that's juicy. Super tender. Stands on its own and pulls right apart. Now this piece we purposely left 4 burnt ends. So let's see how we did with that. That is so good. These burnt ends are just crazy. Fatty, rich, smoky, meaty. The concentration on there is perfect. The salt ratio, excellent. But the bark is something I've never been able to achieve with the pellet grill. This bark that's Texas bark. All day long, all day. I mean, just look at that fatty piece. It's just beautiful. Marbling in there, everything's broken down. The fat render is out of this world. It doesn't get much better. So this is the first time I've ever cooked with post oak. The flavor is very different. I've not tasted anything like this before, and this is the best brisket I've made so far. I haven't made a lot of them, but to me this is top notch, the best one I've made. And it's crazy how simple and how much fun it was to cook without any temperature gauges or anything like that. I just held my hand above the top exhaust, and if it was too hot, I dampened the bottom one. If it was not hot enough, I turned it up. Nice and simple. Took about, I don't know, 10 hours, 8 hours, somewhere around there. It's fantastic. Well, thanks everyone for joining me on another one. Please give this a try. So much fun. It's a blast to cook, a blast to eat, and it's just overall so much fun. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, share, drop a comment. I'll see you guys next time in the backyard.